Hi, my name is Brian Sir. I'm on the technical marketing team here at Nutanix. In this video, we're going to be looking at on-demand cross-cluster live migration. Now, we've had the ability to live migrate VMs between clusters on AHV in the past. This was done with the DR synchronous replication feature, but that required you to set up protection policies in order to make that migration possible. Now they can be done on demand just by selecting a virtual machine and choosing to live migrate it and declaring the cluster you want it to go to. So I'm going to set this up. Now I will show you migrating between clusters on the same Prism Central and then migrating to a different availability zone, so that would be a cluster managed by a separate Prism Central. If you're migrating to the scenario with a separate Prism Central, the only pre-setup you must do is you must declare the availability zone in your Prism Central, so you connect the two different PCs. I've done this in advance, so we'll just take a quick look at that. We'll look at the availability zones. So we see our local AZ, and then the remote PC has been added here. You simply do that by saying connect to AZ. You provide the IP address of the remote Prism Central, and then give it the credentials, and they're connected. So let's first click on virtual machines. We can see I have 4 test VMs. For the first live migration, we'll just select one virtual machine. From the action menu, we'll say migrate across clusters. And in this first one, we'll migrate within the same local AZ. So we'll just select the other cluster that's part of our local AZ. Click next. We must select the network here, so the same network has to be available to both clusters stretched, whether they are on the same site or different sites, so the same IP addresses are there. And I encourage you to take a look at the documentation so that you can understand all of the pre-requirements necessary for this. Now click next, and Prism's going to do all the background checks to make sure that the live migration can be successful. So this will run here just for a couple seconds. And we've passed all of the pre-checks. So now the migrate button is available. And if I click that, it will begin the live migration. We can see that all these VMs are running on the SPOC 4-2 cluster. So within a few moments, this VM will live migrate and will be available on the other cluster name. Okay, we can see that our tasks have completing, and then I can now see that the virtual machine is now showing that it's registered on the 5-2 cluster, so that we can see that our VM has been live migrated across to that virtual machine, or to that cluster. For the second part of this, let's pick test 3 and 4, and we will choose to live migrate those. Again, across clusters, but this time we're going to pick the other Prism Central, so we'll go to the other availability zone. We'll select the one cluster that's available in that zone. And it'll be the same process. So we've already configured the network, it's available there. And we'll let it run through the pre-checks for each of these virtual machines. So this is the exact same process and steps, it's just doing it to another availability zone. Our pre-checks have completed, so let's click migrate to get this started, and we will wait here. In this case, as we watch this, as the virtual machines transfer over, they'll actually be removed from the inventory of this Prism Central, and then we'll go click over to the other one when they're done, and we'll see that test 3 and 4 will become available in the second Prism Central, showing that they've live migrated across. Okay, we've just fast forward a little bit now and we're back to real time. You can see that our tasks have completed. Our test machine 3 and 4 virtual machines are now gone from this Prism Central. So we click to our other Prism Central here, take a look at the VMs tab, and we can now see that test 3 and test 4 virtual machines are now running in our other availability zone. We see they're running on cluster 6.2 that we picked from the menu. And this shows that we can migrate virtual machines to other clusters while they're running live with no disruption between AHV clusters, whether they are managed in the same Prism Central or in different ones. Thanks for tuning in.